Larry is with us in Florida. Hi, Larry. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Greetings and Merry Christmas, Dave. Boy, you're fired up today. I like that duck analogy, and I just want to pause to thank you for all the profound life lessons and life-changing directions you give all of us. We're graduates of Financial Peace University and dedicated into everything Ramsey. Thank you for your work, your team, and Kelly's great work.
Wow.
We wanted to come to you with a difficult property management judgment issue as if we were Winston or some other colleague of yours, Dave, or Uncle Dave. This is the facts, and then I'll get your input, and I think it might be helpful for other people too. My family has a summer home up in the Northeast in New Hampshire, and it's in a somewhat rural area. We spend only about a total of 8 weeks there. We have great neighbors and get along well with everyone. An immediately adjacent property was sold in this past May to a very young couple with a young child. They don't appear to have traditional employment positions. I have not personally met them, nor have any of the other three neighbors. I think the feeling is that they may be not that friendly people, this new couple, or be that as it may. We recently were alerted by one of our other neighbors that a very large number of heavy wooden shipping pallets had been dumped on our property that had been observed on this neighbor's property, and we have documentary proof of that. And we wanted to get your thoughts on how was the best thing. I don't really have the option. I won't be back up there till April. I don't have the option to knock on their door and greet them. And having viewed them, I'm not sure I would. I'm a senior citizen. They look. I don't think they'd be candidates for jobs at Ramsey operations, Dave. But the three options we came up to them were to personally write a letter to them. Option A. B, have an attorney write a letter to them. Option C, present the matter to the police, who I think would be very supportive because the statutes have very, to me, draconian penalties. If it's over 15 pounds of stuff that you've dumped on someone's property, you can end up, at least under the statute books, with your driver's license suspended for up to 6 months and community service cleaning things. The other option that we were leaning in favor of was option 4 of having a private investigator go over, greet them, ask them, see if they'll admit to what they've done regardless, ask them to have the stuff removed, not put on any other neighbor's property and taken to a dump or otherwise disposed of, and give them a deadline. And if that was ignored, then go to the police. But we wanted to get Uncle Dave's view. We try to get along with neighbors, and we have the mindset that we're very rarely on the property. It's not a rural area, but it's semi-rural. We have otherwise excellent neighbors.
Yeah, okay. Do you have any contact with the police department up there at all?
The chief of police, unfortunately, that we knew personally, suddenly died of a heart attack. We don't know the gentleman that's taken over his position, but we have every reason to believe they'd be supportive.
Yeah, I was just wondering if, rather than sending the police, I just don't want to overdo this and it create more hostility. I'd rather create the minimum amount of conflict or drama to get the response that I want, and then if that doesn't work, I can always turn up the heat. No pun intended. But the
what do you feel about the private investigator?
As long as there's someone that has the right kind of demeanor. If they go over there acting like Barney Fife, it's not going to do any good. But I would send them with a message: hey, we want to be good neighbors. You probably didn't realize that that's over on our line. Maybe you thought it was your property line or something, but it's clearly on their property line. They're out of town. They would have come by themselves, but they couldn't because they're never here. And if you guys will take care of this and just be good neighbors, then everything will be cool. And if they, go ahead and authorize your guy, if they don't give a positive response to that, then you would just say, we don't want to have to go these other routes, but I mean, we can contact an attorney and, we could have a judgment put against you. We could turn it over to the police and they can come down and visit you. We don't want to do all that. We just want to be good neighbors. And so we're just going to pretend like you did this accidentally and that you're going to clean it up and we're all going to be great neighbors and just get the stuff back on your property or get rid of it, one of the two. It can't stay on our property.
It's a very large volume, and it looks like they almost must have used a truck because it's way over clearly onto our property.
I know, but that's not the point. The point is they got to. The point is I'm going to give them a nice option to just clean it up as kindly as possible. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to turn it up. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to turn it up.
In turning it up, would you be concerned about retaliation and damage to the property at all?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if they do that, I'll put them in jail.
Yeah.
I can turn it up again.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm not going to be intimidated by these people. I'm going to be kind to them and firmly explain that we're not going forward with this kind of behavior. And if you do nothing, then they're going to get the idea they can do whatever the flip they want to do over at your place.
Yeah.
So doing nothing is probably going to invite more trouble than hostility. But again, to have your guy, don't go over there and just be a jerk and trying to, throw his weight around, be Barney Fife or something. Just go over and be kind. And look, guys, we can do this the easy way, the hard way. We don't want to do it the hard way. We want to be good neighbors. We want to say, you guys, obviously, maybe you messed up. You didn't realize this was our property, but you're over on our line. And you need to get this cleaned up in the next 10 days or 2 weeks or so. And if you don't, then you'll be getting a letter from our attorney and, we're not cleaning it up. Well, then we'll just send the police down here and they'll write you up for this and then you're going to clean it up. So here's the thing. You're going to clean this up. It's just a matter of we're going to do it the hard way or the soft way. And we just want to be good neighbors, man. And good neighbors don't dump crap on other people's property. I mean, so you just have a kind, gentle, firm message and don't invite trouble, and if you can help it. But not dealing with it is also inviting trouble. So you're smart to address it. But I think if the first thing you do is send the police down there, you're going to get a hostile reaction, obviously. So let's give them a shot at just being a good neighbor. And just person to person, And the guys, the folks would have come over here, but they live out of town, and they're only up here a few weeks in the summer, and, you need to get this done in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to check back and make sure it's cleaned up in 2 weeks. And if it's not cleaned up in 2 weeks, then we're going to have to take other steps. Okay? Please don't make us do that. And that's how we would do it if it was our property. And we do that kind of stuff all the time with tenants and with neighbors and trees falling over the property line on someone else's property and onto ours. And there's stuff like that all the time. Anytime you own property, the more stuff you own, the more repairmen you have to know. And the more conflict you get to have. It's just part of it. So there's no way around it. Hey man, thanks for the call. I hope that helps you, but I think the way you've assessed these folks, you don't have a high opinion of them taking the soft route. So just be prepared to go ahead and quickly ratchet the heat up and just say we're going to send the police and the folks down there and call that chief of police and just go, hey, stop by, talk to him. Maybe you can talk them out of it without us having to actually file a warrant with you. But we can file criminal, but maybe you can just talk to him and, kind of do, Andy versus Barney. Instead of sending Barney down there, let's send Andy down there. And, he could always work it out, that kind of thing. So, sometimes that'll help because they don't want to get crossways with the local police folks if they're smart. Even if they're running criminal activity, especially if they're running criminal activity.